My name is Saul,
I am Daniel.
and welcome to the
Local Drunks
podcast. This week, episode 3, of course. Welcome. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yes, thanks.
We will be discussing some local news, some bankruptcies popped up. We'll also be discussing a little bit of Tales of the Cocktail, at least the show of the year.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be having a discussion about food and wine magazines, or just alcohol and food magazines in general, and their effect on the industry and if we think it's good or not. But like we always do, you can catch us on Instagram at Local Drunks Pod. You can also catch us on YouTube at Local Drunks Pod. And we also have a Patreon, which is
Local Drunks
Pod.
Pod. I was like, oh, wait, take two.
He's only had 2.5 cups of coffee, folks.
Yeah, and a very greasy burrito that's about to all come out at one time.
Very sexy. So if you see us cut randomly and us go back and he's just sweating and I'm sitting here doing most of the talking and he's trying to recuperate, it's because he just lost a quarter of his body weight.
If you hear me breathing like James Gandolfini onto the mic asking, what's all the fucking gabagool? It's from a giant greasy burrito.
Linguine and clams.
Oh, yeah. God.
I miss that guy.
Local Drunks Pod, patreon.com.
Yeah, that's the one. Nicely done. Well, it's our third episode. I
was like, wait, there's a Patreon?
Anyway, so what did you do over the weekend, man?
Oh, man, I had a great time. It was my birthday weekend.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
You want to give him a birthday present? Patreon.com/LocalDrunksPod.
Hey, there you go. Buy us a beer. And so I went to, what did I do? I mostly chilled out. Sunday I went to an analog market. It was like this weird place called the Fraternal Eagles. I actually gotta look. It was very strange to me.
The moose heads, or like a stonecutters, the Fraternal Stonecutters Lodge.
It's like a stonecutters.
Yeah, they found out you had the freaking.
I got the
stonecutter, the mason, the stonecutters tattoo on your nuts.
Give him, exactly. We do. It looks very much like that too. The fraternal, anyway, the Fraternal something Eagles Club. But like, we go in there and it's exactly what I expected. It's just a private bar. I was like, so it's just an after hours. It's an afters.
Like an Elks Lodge.
It's an Elks
Lodge. Just with booze.
Yeah. I don't know what they do in the Elks Lodge. I've never been a part of these communities.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean,
I'm down with that.
If it's got a bar, count me in. Mm-hmm. I'm in. But yeah, they were just hosting us and just selling cameras, They were hosting a camera fair, just selling some cool stuff. I found a tripod finally.
Ooh, nice.
For a reasonable price, a Manfrotto, which is a good quality one. But it's a foldable one, so it's like for smaller cameras, which we can take around.
Oh, nice.
And it's like you unwind it and then you can reach up to like 6 feet. It's pretty solid. And then some filters for my camera.
Do they go 6 feet tall?
Yeah, I think so.
God damn.
It's pretty high. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, especially for something that foldable. I saw the picture on your Instagram.
Yeah, it's pretty compact and it's very high quality. The steel's solid. The build is solid. Everything about it is pretty solid. But it's for smaller cameras. So if I wanted to shoot medium format, then that's a different podcast. But little camera good, big camera no good. And then we went to dinner at Four Kings in San Francisco, Chinatown. Shares the wall with R&G Lounge right there off of Kearney. You want to talk about vibes, bro? It was a vibe.
And
it was pretty tight. Yeah,
right. You got the rest of your.
Staring out the window now.
Just like, enjoy hosting this podcast by yourself. That's a vibe.
That's a vibe, bro. That's a vibe. No, it was actually really fucking cool. So one of the people came in for a tour at the distillery, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you should come in." But I was like, "I'm coming." And usually when I say something, then I'm gonna do it. They have like, I think, soju. They have highballs, but like umeshu and like some other stuff.
Nice.
So I doubt they have actual liquor's license. But they make do with what they have. They have delicious tea though. Man, we had a chrysanthemum, full flower, banging.
Mm-hmm.
Quality. But Shannon and I were both like, something tasting different in here. It's a little sweet. And she was like, oh, we put goji berry and melon sugar. And I was like, fire.
Damn.
So it was super nice. The menu's really cool. It's a bit interesting, the ordering kind of format. It's just a page. And I'll send it to you so you can post it up in here so you guys can take a look at it.
Yeah.
And it's like Cantonese food that has, like what we had was pig shaved. How do you say the head cheese? Like pig.
Oh yeah,
pig
yeah, head cheese, yeah.
But they do it right, and they slice it thin, and they served it with some chili oil, a little bit of red frill, mustards, some pickled mushrooms, and it was fire. Absolutely phenomenal. Tastes like very Italian. But
They call it like pate or something like that, don't they?
yeah, something like that. Well, on their menu they said head meat or something
Head
like
meat.
that. I forgot. I'm used to it in the term.
You got to pay extra for that in Chinatown. There.
Add some of that head, some of that pig head, some of that Joy Luck. That's probably gets considered racist. So I don't know if you want to leave that in.
We're with it. It's fine.
Who's the intimacy director?
Yeah, we don't have one.
Yeah.
It's me, and it just depends on how lazy I feel. So it just might stay in.
No, I'll give it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Got to be on the edge. But they also had what I really wanted was on the special menu. It was a Singaporean chili crab, but it was like $108, and it was just us two. So I was like, "Are you down?" She was like, "Maybe next time." And I was just like, "What if there is no next time?" But
yeah, today's all we have, girl.
That's all we have. Tomorrow never dies.
I only have one birthday a year.
Only once a year, dude. But we saw the order come out. It was fucking huge. It was like
massive,
this big, surrounded by bread rolls. And I was like, we would have been done after that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll have to double and just go over there.
Exactly.
And then, check it out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because that'd be the.
It's 108 4 ways. It's not that.
Yeah,
bad.
it's like a izakare style. So it's like you get a bunch of little plates. One of them was like a scallop vermicelli, which was fire. One thing I'll say about them, they are not afraid to use butter, and I respect it.
Nice.
Everything was butter, dude. Like we got escargot. There was like chili oil, some breadcrumb. Give you a little toothpick in the whole shell, and we're just slurping those bad boys down. And they give you some milk bread. It's like a. Have you ever been to Angler in San Francisco?
I've gone in, but I've actually never eaten there.
Okay.
Because those guys are like forever looking for bar staff.
Oh, dude, they're forever looking for staff. Time. Period.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Anyway,
we'll talk about that later. Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the money maker for that group, Saison group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they turn and burn. They're always busy. Oh, you know what? They're on the Embarcadero, aren't they?
Yeah.
I have been to Angler.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I have actually.
What?
Yeah.
Was it good? Did you remember it?
That's fine.
Well, they serve little bread buns,
Okay.
and it looks like that. It's a very similar style.
Okay.
It's milk bread in dinner roll style fashion.
Sometimes when you go out a lot over a long period of time, but then you don't, and then you just forget shit all the time.
Piss drunk, yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember driving by there and be like, oh yeah, we should eat there one day. And I think we ate there one day, and I was just like, oh, it was fine. It was good.
Give me get the crab, please.
Yeah. It was good.
I've been to plenty of places where we're like, oh yeah, we've been, and I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh yeah, you got drunk, and I was just like, oh, I guess I have a problem.
Yeah. No drinking. You didn't get drunk yesterday though.
No, I'm after those champagne wishes and caviar hangovers, brother. Yeah, that thing came right out the other end. And I've been cool since.
It's like you were laying eggs.
Yeah, I felt like I was the sturgeon after all of that. You could have cut me open and pulled out the eggs because there was enough in me. And trout roe. Plenty of baller too. Plenty of baller whiskey.
Human roe, the highest delicacy.
Ah, yes.
Only the greatest warlords of Russia.
Let me tell you, boy, is it cured. Deliciousness.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so we also got so the scallop vermicelli was fucking awesome. They give you a little piece of scallop. It's a nice hard sear. There's only like 4 people in the kitchen.
Damn.
And the name of the game, dude. This restaurant is like really, really big. Like I can tell they're playing the game of doing the best they can with what they've got. And so the space is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
It is tiny. It looks like a fucking sushi joint.
Okay.
There's bars.
It's like a hole in the wall sushi joint. You walk in, there's
exactly.
only seats at the bar, then like 4 tables or whatever.
Exactly. Imagine that,
Nice.
but longer, a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I say to the lady. Imagine this, but longer.
But longer, yeah. Tell them, hey, imagine this, but longer.
Okay. Here it comes. And we're done.
And so they pump food. Dude, we were done eating by
In terminology.
we were done eating by like our reservation 9:15. We were done like at 10:30. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they turn. They fucking turn.
Oh yeah, but you got some place that small, you gotta like kick
You
them
got to
in
make
and
the
out.
numbers. It's all about volume in that situation. So, like, cheers to them and their prep team, because man, I bet they spend a majority of that fucking day just prepping all that shit out. And we had the fried squab, which was phenomenal. I like squab. I know it's a bit gamey. If you're from
I like
Fresno,
squab too.
you like squab? Okay, that's good. Because there's some people that came in. We were standing in the reservation line, and like just some straight up, look like straight out of the Central Valley. They're like, "What's up? Can we take a seat or what?" And she's like, "No." And I was just
Like reservation
"Aw."
only.
Well, it's like there was a walk-in side and there's a reservation only side because I guess they turn that much. And so we were last seating. Like 9:30 was last seating. So we were second to last seating, and they were like, "Oh, okay. Well, how long is it gonna be?" And she's like, "It's like 45 minutes to an hour before you can even see a table." And she's like, "So if you want to wait, feel free to stand here until then." And they took a number, and then the lady that like barged through the door and was just like, "Where can I sit?" She was like, "That's not how it works here." And I was like, "Obviously, you guys aren't from here, like, and that's fine."
Yeah.
But I was like, "But don't be a dick about it. Like,
Yeah.
just be like, hey, is it possible?" Like that's honestly those words right there. Is it
Yeah,
possible?
you have any tables available?
Yeah. Hey,
And
this
if they
place
say
looks
no,
really
you
good.
say
I was
no.
wondering about checking it out. Like,
Yeah.
there's an approach to this whole thing,
Yeah.
and their approach was not it. And then as like she's like it's 45 to an hour, and then people are leaving. She's just like, well, then the girl's like, oh, those people are getting up. Those people are getting up. She's like, it's not how it works. There's reservations, and there's also a long list of people ahead of you that are also waiting for their table. They're just not here right now. They want to go grab a drink somewhere, and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, bro, go back to wherever Sacramento. It turns out they're from San Jose.
Oh yeah. San Jose doesn't deal with the problem that San Francisco has, to where like there's limited space, so there's just hole in the wall spots.
That makes
Where
sense.
San Jose, like all the restaurants are large.
It's a big ass town. I feel like San Jose should be popping, but it's only like bubbling. You know?
Yeah, they're like 1 million people strong or some shit, and they. And the thing is that they suffer from the curse of being able to expand outward. So it's too much space. Like San Francisco has that. Like we talked about it in the last episode, the episode before. There's large swaths of housing in San Francisco, just like large parts of it.
Yeah.
But you're able to find restaurants and bars within those areas, to where
places.
anytime you have a place that is more focused on driving, like, oh, this is suburbs and this is where the urban area and this and that.
Yeah.
Then you have collections of, or like outposts of, this is where all the restaurants are at, and this is where this and that's at, and this is where all the grocery stores are at, and this and that. So like it makes you have to drive to places.
This is where you go when you want this.
So then like downtown San Jose is a vibe. No, San Jose is so focused, has been revitalized and all this other stuff. So there's a really big focus on getting people back down there. But outside of that little epicenter, there's really not much. You'll find the occasional cafe or the occasional restaurant.
Lame.
But that's about it. And that's just the classic, like, we have a lot of land, and that's it. Where, remember, like, San Francisco is, 8 square miles? And then
7 by 7.
7 by 7. So, like, 7 square miles. So you're looking at, and then Fresno's 14 square miles. And look at the problem they have. And San Jose has more people, but they have less area, but they still have a lot more space. So it's just you expand out instead of just building everywhere. Up. Yeah, instead of just building up. So that's why, like, Sacramento, they did a good job because they were so small for so long that everything's just in Midtown. But unfortunately, everyone who used to be able to live in Midtown can't afford Midtown anymore because they built the new NBA, they built the new Kings arena a few years ago. I forget who's Chase or something. I can't remember who owns it. Chase fucking owns everything. And
bankers.
All these other things too. And it just pushed all those, like, middle-income people out. Into the outskirts to suburbs. But suburbs is where all the rich people want to live because
it's quiet.
They're by themselves. Yeah, they're quiet. So
yeah,
that's why, like, they're all moving to, like, Citrus Heights. My buddy used to call it Syphilis Heights, and all these other places.
Good old fashioned. Yeah, it's crazy to see that.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. It's a good point too, because I don't know. This is a complete digression. Maybe you can edit this one into somewhere to the podcast. But I was looking at that fucking Newsom. Telling the mayors that they now have to clear out the homeless encampments. Where the fuck are these people gonna go?
Nowhere.
We can't afford. I can barely afford to live, and I'm a fully functional fucking adult. these people are not fully functional. And like, where? Jail? Like,
I feel like he partially did that because just in case he gets the nod for VP, or if he gets the nod, if the Democrats win the ticket, if he gets the nod to be in her cabinet somewhere. So he's trying to be tough on vagrancy, tough on
all of a sudden
homelessness or unhousedness.
Who's coming to visit, dude? Who's coming to visit now?
Yeah, so he's trying to focus do that so that when he runs in 4 years,
right,
they could be like, well, you turned California into shit. And he goes, what are you talking about? Like,
no, well, he's like, once I got the Supreme Court's approval to start arresting poor people and homeless
that's
people.
what I did.
Yeah.
So I think that's just all political. Anyway,
yeah, for sure.
We could do a we could do a
we could talk
I would
about
like to do
Shack,
a video game. I'd like to do a video game podcast eventually.
I'm super sick.
And then maybe we'll do a quick little brief 10-minute politics chat.
I'm not good at politics. I don't like to keep up because it just bothers me because it's all a bunch of bullshit. But
it's stressful.
Yeah, especially when
it's stressful.
Dictate your lifestyle.
Yeah, we have I keep a little bit less than what I used to just because it is all kind of BS. But I still am able to read. I still try to keep up as possible, and I get print newspapers in and read those as well, just because.
I do like print.
Yeah.
I like a good Wall Street Journal. That's usually what I subscribe to. So yeah. Anyway, we go to the restaurant. Vermicelli was fire. Snails fire. Bread, butter, like a layer of butter and ramekin like this deep from the snails. You just take the bread and dip it. Amazing.
Damn.
Service is great. Everything is great, and the squab is fantastic. Very gamey, but not like overwhelmingly so.
Mm-hmm.
They even give you the neck and the head.
Ooh, damn.
And the claws are still on. I was like, nice. I only saw that. The only other place I saw that was at Quint's.
Oh yeah.
And like it would freak people out.
Well, all the chefs in there are rather young, right?
They're pretty young,
like
but they're
our
very
age or your age.
Yeah.
I'm technically older than you.
They've been in the industry for a while.
I was wondering if they've ever they might have come from
probably
the fine
usually is the case,
fine dining,
especially for cool places like that that are like bomb and popping.
Yeah.
The Vibezzzz, right?
Fucking hell. That's the word of the week. Every single time we're gonna play a drinking game. Bro. Each time you hear vibe, you gotta take a drink.
You drink your no pants, no problem coffee.
Mm-hmm.
No pants.
What are you drinking today? Drinking regular medium roast coffee?
Just a medium roast, perky. Just drinking that perky.
Drinking that percolated.
That percolated.
I am drinking that as well. If I drink an espresso or something, or have something more refined, I'm not percolating.
Yes,
I'll pour overs. I'll get something more craft, or if it's on our percolator, then I'll drink a little bit more generic stuff. Not Folgers, but
damn, what's wrong with Folgers, bro?
Nothing wrong with Folgers. Dude, I drink a lot of Folgers.
Don't you know that the best part of waking up
is Folgers? Yeah. No, I drink a lot of Folgers instant because I am Mexican.
Yes. Seriously though.
But this is that coffee plus probably about an ounce of
Nola coffee liqueur.
Nola coffee liqueur in it, and it is killer. Nola coffee liqueur. I will cut a picture of it.
Sponsor
we'll take a nice
St.
picture
George.
of it. Yes, St. George. Yes, please give us more money,
please.
It's a nice their version of a coffee liqueur. It was I can't remember who it was. Punch or somebody, maybe wine advocate or something like that, or Wine Spectator that gave it the best coffee liqueur from last year. Because December everybody comes out with lists because nobody wants to work in December. So this is our top 10 list of everything.
Go through this piece
and
of
it was
shit.
like the top, but it was their top 10 coffee liqueur. Which is, in all honesty, I've had many different coffee liqueurs, and they're either too sweet or too bitter. And this is the perfect.
That one's just well rounded, solid. It can fit in any aspect. Martini, coffee itself. I mean, it tastes. You can drink that shit neat. It tastes like coffee.
I think what Justin puts in. He said he puts it in his tea. Sometimes we'll throw it in his tea.
I'll do it.
And it has caffeine in it too, so you need to drink coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
You just drink two ounces of this and ready to roll.
Start your work day.
At
your daycare.
Drive to work. Don't drink and drive, folks.
Doing child coverage, child daycare, teaching children.
What do you say? Don't drink and drive. Drink and then drive. And I'm like, oh, that's phenomenal, man.
Drink and then.
Never had a DUI, that guy.
It's one of those 5-timers.
Yeah.
He got his license revoked.
Hey, can you breathe into this for me? He's like, start my car.
Yeah,
dude. Sure, man.
He's like, I tried to blow through my nose, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
I saw this. I've never seen those machines that often in my life until I actually came out here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, everybody has them out here.
that's wild.
And then, like, of course, everybody in the restaurant industry just.
Oh yeah, because they all drink and then they go home. Because what do you do when you get off of work here? You just go drink.
You go drink. You relieve your stress by consuming alcohol to relax your nervous system, but then you don't get good amount of sleep.
Yeah.
And you just start perpetuating the bad habit, and that's from experience.
This is just from last week.
It's just from last week. I'm teaching you guys this. And
That's
so
funny.
anyway, yeah, the restaurant was fantastic. I highly recommend it. Trying to think about what else we have. I know I'm missing something. Oh, eggplant and water spinach, phenomenal.
Nice.
Eggplant was smoky, and the water spinach was just, there's butter, something. There's like a good stock in which they cooked them in. I couldn't stop fucking eating it. They gave us a little mountain of it, and it's good for like two. The portions are good for like two. So I say if you're gonna order from some of like the smaller plates, consider each plate per two people. That's probably the best way to go about it. But
Nice.
if you get that chili crab, shit, good luck. That's 4 people easy.
Yeah, we'll have to go over and try to knock it out.
Dude, yeah, I'm in. And it was cool too because we step out, and I forget we live in a very like I guess metropolitan area, like big city kind of life. At this point in my life, after being here for 12 years, that luster of that that big city shit, it's just like, okay, great, yeah, whatever. But I find myself when I go out to dinners like at nighttime, and I don't really go that often anymore. So when I went yesterday and we stepped out of the building, I was like, oh right, we're in Chinatown, San Francisco. And like you think about the history, we kind of walk around a little bit, and it's just like cool to reminisce and be like, man, it's crazy to think about like all the stuff that's actually happened here, and like seeing like the Transamerica building just like lose its tip into the clouds because all the coral just came rolling in, and I was like, it's pretty magical, So it makes you like thankful that you were able to leave Fresno and come live in a place like this. And I'm having dinner for my birthday, and I'm just like, life's all right. Life's pretty cool.
Yeah, when I worked in this city at the beer spot or for the beer company, I'd drive in like once a week or twice a week, and then I'd always tell them like, yeah, I never really get, because I had we had a AGM who was working he lived in Burlingame, and he'd drive up and he'd talk about how he hated his drive, and it's kind of boring, like coming through South San, like going up the peninsula, going through South San, and like then getting into, it's less exciting. But I would always take the 80 over, so the Oakland Bay Bridge, as I hit this thing. I'd never get tired of that view, seeing the downtown. And then also seeing the ferry building, because I'd always have to stop there first and check in with the tap room there, and then cut into all these other spots.
I remember that, yeah.
And it was just kind of nice just seeing that every single time. It was like, oh dang, yeah, I get to go to the city today. I could see how after being here for a decade, it'd probably be like you get more irritated at the drive than actually seeing the thing.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of cool to Chinatown then leads into, I forget the neighborhood in between, and then kind of goes towards North Beach. But that North Beach architecture, kind of bleeds in through it.
What is it?
I think Nob Hill's on the west side of Chinatown, northwest side of Chinatown, right?
I'm over here trying to think about it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That cool old
style.
style.
Yeah, and you get the old style. Looks European, Yeah,
when they settled here.
Yeah, so then that bleeds into Chinatown, and then Chinatown is mostly just some of that with a lot of square brick buildings, Yeah. And then also some really cool architecture as well. So it's kind of nice just to roll into it, and then.
So Nob Hill to the east.
Is Nob Hill to the east?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nob Hill to the east, Union Square to the south, Embarcadero to the west, and then Coit Tower. Now Russian Hill's a little further out. North Beach.
I think that's switched. Embarcadero's to the east technically. The Embarcadero's on the thing.
Am I looking at it different? Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it wrong.
It's cool.
I have a great sense of direction.
He's never been there sober.
I don't know my directions. I'm like this. Left.
He missed the light.
Embarcadero to the west.
We'll flip at the next
North Beach to the north. At least I know this. I know up
Okay,
down.
so North Beach is right there, so it kind of bleeds into Chinatown.
North Beach.
North Beach, yeah.
See, big brain, bro. And then
That's what takes us so long to shoot, because I have to keep telling him to not eat his microphone thing. Hey, that's not a marshmallow, bro.
Damn, that's a big ass microphone to eat,
That
too.
nigga's toasted.
You got some skills there, brother.
Yeah. He never chokes. It's
Knob
weird.
to the west. No, yeah, just eat the knob to the west.
Yeah.
Tenderloin to the
To
south
the south.
of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that neighborhood in between the loin and Knob Hill, they started calling it the tender knob.
The tender knob.
Yeah. And then people get all mad who live in the knob, because it was like, no, it's not, we're Knob Hill.
We don't abide by tender knob.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great name. Are you one of those people who takes a lot of pictures of food when they're eating it, or you just eat it and don't even worry
personally
about
am
it?
not, but in this case, I was like, well, it'd be good for a podcast, and like Shannon likes to take pictures of everything, so because she'll go through and do like the slideshow for all of her coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's an Asian in her.
and there's plenty of them. Plenty of them. Damn. Okay.
He's like Emily did you ever hear Emily when she was on the podcast? She said, and those types of people are those people.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
what
did you
do you
just slander
mean?
Asian people right now?
What
She's
do you
like,
mean?
oh my God.
She's like, oh no. I'm ruined.
Sees her life burning.
And I'm like, you don't matter.
Yeah, nobody
It's
cares.
like, no, you're like,
Nobody cares, dude.
Yeah, I was like, you're so. It's like, yeah, you're not a movie star, you know.
Yeah, you're not a political figure or movie star. You don't have to worry
Right,
about it.
exactly. You're just a working
Just
person.
don't run for office, though. She'll come back in like a
Yeah,
decade.
for sure. Yeah, in that case, yeah, you don't do that. Is it still running? I can't tell.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. And so she will show all of her coworkers all that, and they'll be like, ooh, because they're all foodies over there too.
Oh, nice.
And families. It's like families and foodies. And so she'll do that, and then for her friends on Instagram and stuff like that, that she'll show those too. And people are always just like, dude, like, you be eating good.
Yeah.
Me, however, I just like to eat it and experience it, and sometimes I'll post things, but not really. I don't know.
I always take a picture of everything I eat and everything that anyone at the table eats, just in case I want to. I'm like, oh, I'll post it later, and I never post.
So you
I
have, like,
have so many.
files,
Yeah, I have so many piles of
gigs.
food, and I have to remember, like, where is this from again? Because I never take a picture of. So I never used to take a picture of where we were at, just the food itself. So I'd be looking, scrolling through stuff, and be like, the fuck is that at again? So now I as soon as I get to a place, I'll take a picture of the outside, so I know,
Nice.
okay, the next
Smart.
10 or 20 photos is going to be from
Smart.
this place.
That's good. That's a
and then
good
go
move.
from there.
That's a really good move. My
But,
brother
yeah.
actually made an Instagram just for that reason.
Oh, just to take pictures of
Yeah,
food.
to dedicate it to the food, what he ate, and where it was at, so that way he can always revisit it or give recommendations.
Nice.
And I was like, that's actually a pretty good
That's a
idea.
good idea, yeah.
especially
So-
for people out here.
That's what I do on my Instagram. I just like I do bars, like
Yeah.
little bars I like to go to. I have a ton of bars that I've made collages for and everything. I just need to post. I just haven't done it in a while, but I'll be getting on that as soon as possible. I'll have to I'll tag us in a
It's
post.
a job, dude. It's a job.
It's if you have other stuff to do, it's hard to do.
Yeah, like kids and family.
It's not a difficult job.
No.
It's just time consuming.
It's just task work.
and
It's like 90% of tech
yeah.
jobs.
yeah, it's like I worked a concrete job, and that job was a very difficult job and time consuming. So I wouldn't equate it to
It's just as physically exhausting.
yes.
You're panting by
It's
the
a
end of
little
it.
bit easier.
You're like, all I need
Instagram
right
is
now
a little
is
bit
a
more
modelo.
difficult. No, yeah. But it is very time consuming. And then also too, there is that blending of I have to do this for my gram. Like nothing is yours anymore.
Yes.
Because you have to share everything because that's technically your
Yes.
job now.
And that's
so I
what
can
I'm
see
become
how that's
afraid of.
taxing.
That's what I become afraid of.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, even with my photography, I do it when I want to do it because I don't want to have to do it in order to sustain.
A lot of grounds on that last cup.
Yeah, I got some grit. Some of that
Mhm.
cowboy coffee, brother. I tell you what. If it ain't got grit in it, it ain't good for you. What's the guy with the mustache that's on the ranch?
Yeah.
He talks like this.
Sam Elliott. Yeah.
Sam Elliott here. If you ain't drinking coffee with grit in it, you're a pussy.
Well, I am what I eat. But yeah, but
yeah, I
Instagram.
don't want to have to. That's the thing. Is like, you got to commit to it fully or don't. But I'm just like, I like my pictures. I'm post them when I want to post them.
Mhm.
But you don't gain a following like that. You
Yeah.
know?
I think that's why Stories does so well on like
Mhm.
Instagram and stuff, because technically you don't have to do a whole post. You could just post a story and save that to something, and then you could be like, oh, hey,
That's
these are
true.
the restaurants I ate of the last month.
My
And you just post them all up.
the photo series, the American barbecue photo series, got like
Mhm.
300 something views,
God dang.
as opposed to my
Post which
20
got
likes.
20 likes, yeah.
They're like, good
It's
job.
infuriating. And people just get on social media just to, sorry, a little social media segue.
Nah, who gives a shit.
But
That's what it's about, bro. This is on social medias.
it's not so, yes, that's right. And then, but they'll just go on, log in, and then just watch stories, and that's it. They don't even look at posts anymore. So I have a couple of ex-coworkers that all they do is post stories. They don't like post any actual
Damn, bro.
like content. So
You get-
they don't exist.
You get stuck though. I remember I went to Josh Wiseman's signing.
Mm-hmm.
You never watch his channel on YouTube. He's a chef and he just cooks. He does recipe testing, R&D, and stuff like that. He's a cool dude. He's a real cool dude. I met him in person. So I went to his signing for his second book, and one of the questions that somebody asked in the audience was like, "Would you prefer short form or long form?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, "Start long, go short," because he said once you get into that short form, you're stuck. You're pigeonholed into that, and you're stuck now trying to find all these ideas to just blast out and that take hours to make, and you cut everything down. I remember the ceviche video that I put up on my page took at least half of a day to shoot, and we used the morning light, so it was good. So as that started fading, I had to bust out the O-ring, and it just looked artificial and different, and I was just, so it's like it fucked up the consistency. But besides that, like the editing part took a while as well, but it ended up being like 30 seconds, and the drop off time was like 23 seconds. Like I was like, bro, I spent hours doing this shit just so it can look like
Yeah, it makes it look easy.
ding, and then like 20 seconds of that, people are like, yeah, fuck off. And I'm like, I was like, I can't believe I spent a whole half of a day doing this shit
For 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds
content. Yeah.
If you have an attention span, and then 15 to 20 if you're just scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oof, that's rough.
And we gotta ask Nikki how long it takes her to do her videos, because her videos are like 20 seconds. It's like a tight 20.
That's a tight 20. I feel like it's
So-
just one cocktail, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 30. Hopefully,
30 minutes, yeah.
30 minutes, and that's it.
And she doesn't do it very often. She does like once every other week or whatever.
Yeah, and then I think making the syrups, not including the making the syrups and the infusions and things like that.
I was looking at maybe seeing if our work would give me some botanicals, because I want to make cherry bitters.
Ooh.
And do a video on that. It's 21 weeks is like the wait time. 10 weeks for the first infusion, 11 weeks for the second infusion.
Yeah.
Then we blend it all together. But I was like, I got to go in this week at some point and just be like, hey, you mind if I have some botanicals?
They're bringing chilies in.
They're bringing chilies in.
So
right.
I offered. They told me to talk to Chris, but I offered to help with the processing of this because I actually want to see that part because I know it's like one of the more intensive,
labor intensive.
spirits. Yeah, and so
Is that this week or next week?
this week they said that they were supposed to be getting in, but nothing was official. So
Probably next week.
tomorrow I'm going in. I'm gonna talk to El Jefe and see if he needs help, and then I think in that case, in that situation, I could just ask for botanicals.
What do they do? Do they just rip off the stems and just keep the things?
I imagine that's the most they do because the rest of it's getting mashed or ground up for the to go into the GNS.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like chile, so I wouldn't mind helping out and just cutting and hanging out, shooting the shit. And I know they need the help right now because I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, they're heck of low.
So
And we're chasing them up too and just be like, hey, if you guys need help with processing those, let me know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, fuck, dude. With that low of labor, like, there's a lot of shit to be done there. Watching them run around like maniacs for the whole fucking week. I was like, that's got to be stressful.
Yeah, I know.
See Wes sweating.
Sweating. I know. I told you I went to the Rake. So where I went this weekend
Oh, yeah.
was called The Rake. The Rake is
Wait,
a
hold on.
pub. What's up?
Hey, what about you? What did you do this weekend?
You asshole.
No, you cut that.
I'm going to leave it in now.
Hell yeah. That makes it better.
And then I'm still chewing on these grits. No, so I went to this place called The Rake. It's on Alameda Island.
How's the barbecue?
I did not eat. But I went and talked to Greg, the manager over there, and he ordered the mac and cheese, and it smelled really good.
Ooh.
And, being in the industry, you kind of hit on everybody. So I was like, is that you or the mac and cheese? Either way, I want to bite.
He's like,
I did shower
well,
today.
we're all out of mac and cheese.
Yeah, we're all out of mac and cheese. I got a noodle with your name on it.
he's like this.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Are you Mac? I'll cover you in my cheese.
yeah. They call me Velveeta.
It's golden in their shells.
Hell yeah. Don't you?
So, fucking hell. But I went in there to chat with him really fast to set up something for work, and then Wes was working, and then I had a black lager, which is really good.
Fire.
And then I asked, I was like, hey, what do you guys have? What do you recommend? And they said they were crazy about this Czech Pilsner. I can't remember from who. I should have written it down. And that was pretty tasty as well. I'm like, yeah, it tastes like a Czech Pilsner.
Yeah.
Classic. They all taste kind of like one way.
Nice.
Not to talk shit on Czech Pilsners, but you have to
when
really
done
be,
right, done right. And I know that it's true that the Pilsners and lagers or lighter beers are a bit more difficult, or I should say exponentially more difficult to make.
Yeah, if you make something that's the way it's supposed to taste.
We're filming here.
Yeah, God
sir.
Dang. Yeah, when you make something the way it's supposed to taste, you're like, oh, it tastes exactly like it's supposed to be. Like, as when it's a Pilsner or a lager, like, good job.
Yeah.
Like, if it blows your mind, it blows your mind.
I wonder if
that's
an
an
added
added
bonus.
bonus.
Shit on your yard, by the way.
Oh, probably.
You should watch them and be like, clean up your fucking shit, you pieces of shit.
Was it small and white?
It was a small white dog.
Yeah, it's a
That
neighbor's
looked like
dog.
a small white
it gets out. It gets out from our neighbors. This we can cut, but it gets out from our neighbor's lawn. It was in our backyard for a minute the other day, and I was
just like the turd on your grass.
Yeah. And dude, quick story. This is how crazy my dad is. So,
love it.
we would always mow the lawn. It's funny because we moved from the tower into this nice neighborhood behind St. Anthony's. And we'd mow the lawn, and this is how not ethnic this race place was. But someone came up and asked my dad, they're like, how much do you charge per month, like, to mow the lawn? And my dad told him because we would mow people's lawns. Like, I started mowing lawns when I was 4 years old.
For sure.
And he goes, is the owner of the house around so I can talk to him about, I don't want to step on his toes and, pull
At
you
his own
away.
house, bro?
And my dad's like, I am the owner of the house. It was us and Tony and Sons, which is down the street. And they actually were, they did have their own gardening business.
Yeah.
Or lawn care business. And then that was it. There was no more Latinos in the whole neighborhood.
On the market.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And they didn't mow lawns. They're like, we don't mow lawns in our neighborhood. They're like, they're our neighbors. Yeah, like those are our neighbors. We don't do that for them. And I'm like, my dad's like, we'll do it. Like, cash is cash.
Yeah.
So I think we mowed like 3, and then there was Bill Lermer down the street. That was it. There's 3 of us. He looked like a darker Bob Costas. I mean, not Bob Costas, Bob Vila.
Bob Vila.
Yeah, this old house.
Old house.
And he was a jewelry designer. He was really talented, really good. And so anyway. 10 stories for what this is for the Patreon. And so anyway, there's this dude, and we lived on this edge of this U-shaped street because Fresno's weird.
Right.
And he lived on the very top of the U, and he'd always walk his dogs, and his dog would always poop in our lawn. And we kind of had a feeling it was him, but we weren't sure because we never caught him. And then one day my brother caught him, and he goes, hey, your dog's pooping on our lawn. You got to cut it out. And the guy's like, don't you know poop's good fertilizer? And just walks off.
What a dickhead.
And I was going to go pick it up. And I can't remember if my mom or my brother told me, don't. I was like, okay. And my dad came home. He was home in like 15 minutes later. And
they called his ass?
And no, he just showed up. He's like, he usually shows up anyway, like at the same time. So he showed up, and we just mowed the lawn. And I think I just edged it. We're going to sweep it. And my brother's like, hey, the neighbor, he said which one. And he goes, he pooped on our lawn, and I told him, hey, you had to pick it up. Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, it's good for your lawn. And my dad goes, oh, it's good for my lawn, huh? And he goes to the garage, grabs a shovel, picks it up, and walks down the street with it.
Nice.
And he gets to the guy's front lawn, and he goes, hey, if it's good for my lawn, you keep it. And launches it at the dude's window and smashes the window. It doesn't break it. It just smashes into it. It just starts going down.
Hell yeah.
And the dude never walked by our house ever again.
Hey.
Yeah.
Cheers to your dad.
Yeah.
That's a man right there.
Yeah, dude, that dude was crazy.
That's hella tight.
Dude, he stood.
I thought he was gonna pull pants, dude. I thought he was gonna drop trow.
No, he's not.
He's like, oh, it's good.
He's not insane.
He's not Gary Busey.
He's not insane. Yeah,
hey,
he's
brother.
Just crazy. There's a difference.
Oh, it's fertilizer you want is.
After that, nobody freaking messed with our house.
Those damn Mexicans
are
vandals.
Like, oh my god! And he's a light skinned one. Yeah, Tony was. Yeah, Tony was on the darker
ones.
edge. Yeah. Oh man, if I had a nickel for each time I was told, you're one of the good ones.
Dude.
Oh my, I could probably retire.
Oh my god, bro.
God, so irritating.
That's
not a
compliment.
No, it's not a compliment. It's an insult.
Yeah.
No, because I speak well.
Yeah. Oh, you're educated.
Oh, you're Mexican.
Well, luckily I don't have to deal with
that. Oh, you're
problem.
one of the good ones. Every day, dude.
Dude, especially down there. especially
Ugh.
down there. Oh,
Anyway.
Enrique.
Yeah. You're Mexican, Enrique. Wow.
How much to mow my yard?
Yeah, we thought you were just from some, forest in Germany where they just had weird names.
Well, heavens to Betsy. I had no idea that was racist. Clutching their
the
pearls and
worst.
holding their Bibles.
All right, Jesus Christ.
Well, your dad's crazy, but yeah, he's not insane. That's
He's
pretty.
not
That's
insane,
cool
yeah.
though. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty. Okay, so where's your neighbor live? You got a shovel?
Yeah, he's right next door to us. Now we'll
So
just
fucking fling
we'll
it
just
at his
tell him.
house.
The fence is falling apart. Right? I should just help him replace it one day.
Yeah. Tell him to put ins.
Yeah, but yeah. So I went to the Rake, had some beers. The Rake's a good spot to go to, especially on the island, because they are attached to a malting facility. It's like it's the biggest malting facility I think this side of.
The Mississippi.
No, I think it's this side of the Rockies.
Oh.
And those guys get all locally grown barley. They'll malt it out,
To roll
pack
by
it
the
up,
malt.
sell it, and they only carry beers that use their malt. So they have a really good tap list.
That is
So it's like
pretty
no
solid.
misses. Like they pick and choose who
Only
they carry,
bangers.
and they really only carry bangers. In all honesty, so stuff that smacks.
Smacks.
So I
Just
keep hearing people
smacks.
say slaps when they talk about food, and I feel like slapping
Yeah.
them.
I think there's
Anyway.
a shirt to get dedicated to that.
Oh yeah,
Did you go on the tour for the malting?
I've done it before.
Okay.
When I worked at the beer spot,
So the Rake will host a tour.
they hosted. Yeah, they one of the owners took us through and toured it out, and then the other guy from Fresno worked there. He's a salesman for them now in Sacramento.
Sick.
But super nice guy. If I remember his name, I'll say it. And he was turning malt. There's a
He's
whole
listening to
floor.
this now. He's like, wow.
Yeah, but it's weird because we've always been in the same circles, but never actually met.
Yeah.
And then we met like twice, and it was
up,
outside of Fresno.
That. It's funny how that works.
Yeah, he used to be at Lagunitas, and then he switched it, and then he went to Admiral. I think
that
right
how it's
after.
pronounced?
It's Lagunitas.
Is that? Oh.
I
I
just
was
say
like, wait, hold on.
Lagunitas.
I've been saying it wrong this whole
Yeah.
time. I love their
And
IPA.
even Heineken USA, and but it's on the floor like these this, and then they turn it. They have this machine that turns it for them, and then it
Oh, yeah, it's
germinates,
super
and then they freeze that germination and then go from there. But it's really cool. Really cool. If you're ever there, I think they sell tickets to it. They only do it like every other Sunday. The tour is about an hour, but if you're in the area, it's a really great place to go. And then you can hit a bunch of wineries in the area. Almanac's right next to them.
Love their wine.
And then Almanac Brewery. God damn it. Almanac Brewery's right next to them. And then there's also Firebrand, which is right next to their little
Fire,
cafe.
dude. Have you been there? Have you eaten there?
I've
Firebrand?
eaten there. They have a good burger.
Dude,
They have a good chicken sandwich, too.
A chicken
Yeah.
sandwich. Didn't know that. I've had their breakfast, and their breakfast is phenomenal. It's abundant. They give you an ass load of potatoes, like an Irish amount, and it's pretty good. Like I had their avocado toast; it's pretty fucking solid. So I can only imagine.
I like their
burger.
breads more than I like their pastries. Their pastries are a little bit more bready for me.
But have you had the Nutella Cuitamont?
I have not yet.
It's fantastic.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Try that one out.
Yeah, but I like their bread a little bit more than their bread's good. And then we used to get their pretzels at the beer spot,
No shit.
and the pretzels are solid.
You
Solid
know, my
pretzel.
roommate, one of my old roommates, used to work for them. He'd be rolling up in there at 4 a.m. When they were on Broadway. They still
okay.
are on Broadway, I think.
Yeah, I think they have a little
And they
a
started
shuttle.
there.
Yeah, a little satellite location.
Yeah. And now I think they moved everything over there to the main
Yeah.
headquarters.
Yeah, the main headquarters is massive
Dude,
now.
that thing's a hang. It's a part of a hangar, no?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's part of
Yeah.
like it's a smaller hangar.
It's giant though, but it smells bomb when you walk through the back. And I was like,
Yeah, it's
Wes must
tasty.
wake up like,
Yeah, when he wakes up on time.
yeah, he wakes up at 4 p.m. like,
Yeah, this is the remnants of fresh baked bread.
yeah.
And I hit him up the other day. It was like 8:30. I'm like, "How's work?" He goes, "Not there yet." And I'm like, "Dude, it's 8:30, bro. What are you not there yet?" Jeez Louise, it's late. That dude's hilarious. But yeah, now he told me he looked like I was like, "Dude, you look like you just got beat up all week." He goes, "I was."
His cheeks.
It's my cheeks. No, it's hard being down. But yeah, that's the place I went to this week. Not as epic as sounding as Four Kings, but
Yeah.
still a good,
Still a solid weekend.
solid place to hit on your if you're ever on that side of the island.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you about the spot that I went in It's gonna run wrong run time, isn't it?
Oh, that's fine.
I gotta run the spot that we went to in East Oakland. It's called El Taco Zamorano.
Zamorano?
Zamorando.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'll double check it.
I'll look it up on a map so you're talking
Sure.
about it.
El Taco Zamorando. So it's like catty corners of the Hells Angels headquarters in on Foothill. And Zamorano? No D.
Yeah.
El Taco Zamorano.
It's a red and yellow building.
Yeah, red and yellow building on the corner.
Looks like they have a food truck too.
Do they really? I would go there in a heartbeat. Their food is fucking delicious. It's one of the few. There's like sometimes I'll eat at a place randomly, and sometimes it'll evoke being back in the Central Valley eating Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
And that mostly comes down to like the consistency of the beans plus the rice, and the flavor of that. And they use manteca, right?
Oh yeah.
Big sign, very umami. I was trying to explain that flavor to Chan the other day. She's like, well, how do you know there's manteca on this? And I was like, it's a mouthfeel. It's very savory, and you don't want to stop fucking eating it. Like, that's how the rice and beans are.
Mm-hmm.
And they had chile rellenos that were fire. But what I go for is the menudo. And it's rare to find, honeycomb menudo on top of that. Like, it's more expensive. But the consistency of the meat in which they cook it is not that chewy, gritty. Not gritty, but like that chewy kind of overcooked texture. It's meaty from the way that they cook it. So it has bite and give. So right when you bite through, it's like chewing on like a little piece of like brisket, if you will, that's been cooked for a long amount of time. And the fucking salsa or the juice, the stock is amazing. And they give you onion, mint, and jalapenos.
Mm-hmm.
But the mint does a huge, I didn't expect that. It changed the whole appeal of the dish, and it was amazing. And then I got it with the pata. So not many places serve it with pata, which is pig's foot. But that's that stuff that make your lips all sticky.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that because my grandma used to use pata in her menudo. And so I'd always eat pig's feet. And that's why I look the way I look.
Pale?
Pale and nutrient deprived. Yeah.
Don't even look at my teeth.
My sticky ass lips.
All those soft meats.
You didn't ask which set.
Yeah.
I'm like this. And so, so it was fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. So if you're in the Foothill in the East Bay, check it out.
That's awesome.
Off High Street. Exit.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. I had a great time there, too. It was part of my birthday dinner, lunch into dinner.
Oh, you guys went Sunday morning and then Sunday night?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Sunday morning, we made breakfast. And then for lunch, we went to Zamorano. And then finished with Four Kings. I probably have thousands of calories in me right now.
Yeah, dude, that's probably why you gotta go take a big old shit right now.
It's getting there. And then I ate this burrito today.
Dude, you're backed up.
That's
all right. At least you're not at home using the apartment complex bathroom.
We got an ADA rail in the restroom next to because it's designed for old people. That is probably the best thing I've ever had when you are gripping for God. With the sweaty palms and you're just like I'm gonna need that. Yeah. I'm gonna need that kind of support this afternoon. You gotta do
that. You get the towel around it. You pull in the towel.
I look like Tobey Maguire when he's trying to save the subway as Spider-Man. That's what it's gonna be like this evening.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Yeah. A young man was rushed to a medical facility at 7:06 p.m. He's like, my butthole.
Boop, boop. I'm on a respirator.
Yeah. We had to put him in a medically induced coma.
It was too large.
We'll see if he pulls through it.
He's doing it. He's doing it. No.
So the creator of Ren and Stimpy made all these short cartoons first before he did Ren and Stimpy.
Uh-huh.
And one of them is of this roided up muscular dude. I can't remember what the shorts are called, but I was at my buddy's house one time and he had them all on VHS.
Whoa.
So he puts them on and we're watching them. And this muscular dude's is straining to pretty much poop because I think it was just a joke about how I think roided out people can't poop or whatever.
Oh, is that a thing?
And I don't know. And his head ends up blowing up and he falls forward. Damn. And then he falls forward. He ends up pooping and lands in the toilet. And then that's the short. And I'm just like, they give this guy a kid's cartoon after these?
Nickelodeon,
It was just
bro.
like
They're like,
Nickelodeon, dude.
"You're sign kid.
Yeah.
Make us the most crazy
Yeah,
shit." That
can you give
make."
us? Yeah, can you give us 30 episodes a year? Freaking let's do it.
You idiot.
One a week. Anyway, have you watched anything? So we'll move on to the next one. Have you watched anything recently, or like outside of what you watched last week that you recommend at all?
Oh man, I can't even remember. We should write down what we talked about the week before. So
The last week before was The Taste of Things.
Taste of
what
Things
you
was cool, yeah.
What you watched? What you spoke about?
what have I been watching? I don't know. You go for it. What have you been watching?
So I found this TV show called A Taste of History.
Ooh.
It's this guy, Chef Walter Staub. It's a German dude, and he came over to this country like in the 80s.
I'm going to Google it.
He opened up. Yes, he opened up Town Tavern in Philadelphia. It's closed now. So I think he's just too old, and he probably doesn't have the staff to run it or whatever.
Yeah. He's
But,
like, nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah. But Hearth-style cooking from the 1700s is what he focuses on.
Oh, he's running a 3 Michelin restaurant.
Yeah, so it's one of those joints. Yeah, Bib Gourmand constantly freaking Beard, James Beard, like 5 years in a row was nominated Best Restaurant or whatever.
The Taste of what?
Dude's great. A Taste of History.
A Taste of Demons.
And the dude has a PBS show. You can catch it on YouTube, or if you subscribe, if you do not give at least $5 to your PBS a month to your local PBS station, please do it. We still do it for Valley PBS just because San Francisco PBS doesn't need any more money. They have a ton.
If it was Valley PBS saved my fucking life. Mm-hmm. It got me into food with Julia Childs and Martin Yen.
Yeah.
And
Yen can cook,
Susan,
dude.
what's Susan Feldman or the financial advisor?
Oh yeah, Susie something. Yeah.
I forgot her name. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't know what financial advice was. I watched my parents go through bankruptcy, but after seeing the fallout of that, I was like, I need to learn what this is. Mm-hmm. And so Susie, I would used to watch her seminar. Most of them are just fluff, but it's just like it's still
Susie Orman.
Susie Orman. And then but it was still bringing forth
out of the blue.
No, it was great.
Susie Orman.
Susie Orman.
And then they just go back to staring off at the wall.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. I'm vibed out.
And so. Yeah,
we're gonna keep saying that word till it kills it. No one uses it anymore.
That's the name of this episode. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. Hangover vibes.
Hangover vibes, bro. And so it saved my life. Honestly, it got me into interest in STEM. Like Nova. I used to watch Nova. I used to watch Nature. Mm-hmm. And when you're just like a little ghetto ass kid surrounded by predators, it's just like. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stay home. I'm just gonna watch this instead of hanging out at the local drug dealer's house. It's good for you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. So we still give to the Valley PBS because we started before we moved, and I just continued it because it's like if you can give to any PBS, especially local PBS. I know, right? I might have to find a way to turn down the thing, else we'll get pulled for whatever.
Just as long as we don't get trademark infringement.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. But yeah, if you guys could find a way to, if any PBS in general, they're very heavily dependent on support, listener support. But
we're waiting for your call.
If you could, yeah, this number right here. No, but if smaller markets for sure definitely need a lot of money more than the bigger markets because there's so many people in big markets: San Francisco, L.A., Chicago, New York, Boston.
Yeah.
Those guys get a lot of money because of population density. They have a lot more people giving to them. But a lot of the smaller guys like Valley PBS, which is actually technically reaches more people, I think, square miles wise compared to KQED.
With how large Fresno County
and KQED has so much money. They have they have, of course, the 4 digital stations, and then they have a second station in Northern California public TV, which they fund as well.
Damn.
So
shout out to Check, please.
Yeah. So those guys are, so if you can do something, look at a smaller market like Fresno if you're in California, or even like the Inland Empire, or if you're in Chicago, in a smaller Illinois area, or somewhere else that's really tiny, and fund those PBS guys because those guys are the guys who they're the last to get
local public
television. Yeah, they're the last guys to get new antennas and stuff like that, and sometimes they're the only people
Please, it's all
are
rusty.
giving any type of culture outside of what these kids learn in public school, which sometimes is not very much.
It's not much at all.
So
not much at all.
Quick little plea for that.
No, that's a great thing to bring up.
So yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, like I said, public TV in this area gets a lot of money
between PBS, Julia Child, Jacques Pepin, Martigny, and Fraser, I honestly would not have made it in Michelin.
Yeah.
I full-heartedly believe that because it exposed me. Like, I don't know what caviar was until I watched Frasier, and there's a whole episode on it, like they're smuggling it, like it's drugs. But I was like, what is that? And it's just part of my, being inquisitive as a person as well. But that gave me exposure early on, and then made me interested in those higher end things.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for those things, like, dude, I'd just be probably dead.
Yeah, doing just the same old shit that everybody else does. Yeah, no, it's like really funny because there was an interview with Josh Groban, and he talks about how if he hadn't, because he's from like a small town too, and he's like, if it hadn't been for PBS, like me watching people sing and like watching the opera on public television, like public television in general, and knowing that there's other stuff outside of what I see outside my window every single day. Facts. He goes, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now. So it's very important to find a small market if you're in a bigger market and donate to them, because those guys are struggling all the time.
So this guy's on.
So this guy is a Taste of History, Walter Staub or Staub. And what he does is that he has a restaurant called City Tavern in Philadelphia. And all they do is hearth style cooking. So they do like Dutch ovens and like these things called spiders, which is like this cast iron pot with legs, and you put it on top of a fire, and it keeps the pot itself away from the fire, but it heats it up. Ooh. And it's really cool. And it's all family style cooking, because that's all they ate, at least wise, high calorie. And he goes like, it's high calorie, stop counting calories. He'll say that while he's cooking something. Yeah. Stop counting calories.
As he throws a pat of butter.
He throws like 10 pounds of butter. He uses that. He uses schmaltz, like chicken schmaltz. Oh, dude, so chicken schmaltz is you take like chicken fat or turkey fat or poultry fat or pig fat or whatever, and you render it down to where it's like clarified, and you use that as like your oil. So he's just like, this is high calorie. He goes, but you need it back then because you're constantly on the move. Yeah. He goes, you really only ate breakfast and you ate dinner. You never ate lunch. Yeah. He goes, so he's just like, you're eating, 2,000, 3,000 calories after working on a farm for 12 hours. And he goes, but it looks delicious. So I was watching his thing, and I had chicken thighs, and I was like, I'm going to do a freaking thing. So I did like, so I did chicken thighs. I saved all the fat from the skins so I could render it down.
Nah, beautiful.
But like chicken thighs with sweet potatoes and red onions and like a little bit of, garlic and then salt, pepper, oregano. No, not oregano. Sorry. Paprika, and then a little bit of cinnamon. Ooh, and the shit was bam. Sheesh. But yeah. But it was really, it's really good. It's a good show. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can find it on YouTube, YouTube TV. If you, I think it's also available on like your PBS Passport app. If you subscribe to PBS, tonight, it's a cool. And then also too, he'll do cutaways where you talk about, hey, this is history. Like, this British king married this princess from Portugal, and she would take tea, and that's why England takes tea now, because she would take tea, and it was on trend, what they would say now, but it was important to do what the Queen did, and since the Queen took afternoon tea, England started taking afternoon tea. Damn, and now it's a fucking staple. Afternoon tea is a staple.
Posers, bro.
So, and then same thing with like Madeira, and then she's also the reason why we have Madeira wine now, because Madeira style wine was really just regular wine, and then that king had done what Louis XIV did in France, where he had put high tariffs and taxes on everything that wasn't French. So that king did the same thing, and you could only British ships could bring British products, or British commandeered products, because the British East Indies Company was like all over the place, and they could just take things to Britain and the colonies. But she was able to persuade him, like, you should do this wine from this island that makes really good wine. Madeira. So you don't have to take it to us, but you could take it to the U.S. So because they were taking it to the U.S. and it was sitting in those casks in the sun and also getting hit by all this water and all this other stuff, it condensed the sugars in the wine, so it became really sweet. So by the time it got to the U.S., it was like the hotness. So they drank it, they cooked with it, did all this shit with it. Like even after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, they like all toasted with Madeira wine.
Oh, is it really?
All that stuff, yeah, dude. So it was like all that. It's like it set it up to be the wine that mostly the founding fathers and all these other guys would drink during that time.
We should have Justin do animations for these little offshoots, education offshoots. I wonder if he'd be interested in that.
He probably would.
I'm sure he's not busy enough right now. We should give him more jobs.
Yeah, seriously. So they'll have little cutaways like that.
That's pretty cool.
And then like little cutaways about, they talk about famous slaves who were working in the kitchens and all these other things. Like he talks about everything because he's just like, I'm all about food. So I'm just going to talk about food. But I definitely highly recommend it. It makes you hungry. And then it was funny because we watched like 4 or 5 episodes straight, and I'm like, I'm gonna cook, and I cooked, and then we ate, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, and so we changed the channel.
Like I fulfilled it.
And then we watched it the next day, and it's been pretty good. I think we've watched the whole first season so far.
How many seasons are there?
It's like 6 or something.
Bro,
or 7.
you just gave me 6 seasons of gold.
Yeah.
That's
the dude's been doing it since like 2009, I think, or 2010, and he just stopped in like 2023 or something like that.
Whoa!
But I don't think he did one every year. I think he might have skipped a couple of years.
Hey, all I need to know is there's 6 seasons of a banger out there.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, watch it and let me know what you think of it.
I'm probably gonna love it.
Yeah.
If it's food and traveling and history, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. It makes me want to go to. Well, I wish that his restaurant was still open because it makes me want to go to Philadelphia.
Philly's got some banging ass food out there,
and eat that Hearst style stuff. But it also makes you want to go to the East Coast even more. I've actually only been to the East Coast to catch flights to Europe.
Really?
Yeah, I've only been there in transition. I've never actually stayed out there.
Sorry, the East Coast is merely a layover for me.
Yeah,
darling.
it's only been layovers. I'd like to spend more time there, but it's just.
Yeah, where? When?
Yeah, fucking.
Maybe when the kid's older, you could take one to go travel and eat.
Yeah.
Maybe go to Philly College.
Yeah, that's true.
One of my boys out there is at this doing his thing at I forgot what it's called. It's the clubhouse, middle child clubhouse or something like that. But he's doing pastas and the sandwiches that he makes out there look phenomenal. So if you want to go to Philly, we should go to Philly.
We should go to Philly. Yeah, I guess they used to consume a lot of oysters over there. Like oysters was like one of the main staples.
Before they went toxic.
And then because I guess they're just overfished in Delaware, the Bay of Delaware or whatever.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I guess that was like breakfast, lunch, dinner. They would just eat oysters all the time, and then they just overfished them, and they just became no longer a part of the cuisine after like the 1930s or 40s.
Ate them out of the.
Shit. Yep.
Damn, that's so crazy.
But they're like even before anything else, like everything was an oyster house. You could just walk in and just eat oysters. Everyone would just have oysters. They're like, people would just have oysters by the fucking bucket.
Lance? Should have went to Delaware. Back in the day. I just spilled coffee all over myself.
That's fine.
Anyway.
So anyway, so check that out if you want to watch something pretty good and get hungry. And then I have a skew of movies I want to try to watch this week, and then maybe I'll recommend a few next week.
Hell yeah!
As far as food goes, one of them is Burnt. I'm just kidding. No, it's not Burnt.
Dude, I love that movie. Me and my friend constantly joke about that. How he just like the opening scenes and popping like he's like all right, and that's 3,000 oysters, and then it just like goes off and that movie's so.
He just he walks out in the middle of like they're like, where are you going? And he just like walks out.
I'm done. I fulfilled my need for AA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's fucking wacky.
1 million oysters.
We should watch that. I'm gonna watch that again just so I can make fucking jokes about it.
Yeah, that movie is ridiculous. Anyway,
I fucking love it. That's what we should do. We should make it non-completely or it doesn't even have to do with the food industry, or it's just like someone's wrong perception of how the food industry. Anyway,
yeah. No, that's definitely on the Patreon. We're going to be doing watching something and then talking about it.
Oh, also, if you have any food or alcohol besides Sideways, recommended videos, movies, TV shows, YouTube channels, please shoot them at us, and we'll check them out and we'll react to or watch them and give our opinion about them. If you're interested in our opinion, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Local pods. Look.
You're only on it. localdrunkspod@gmail.com.
How do I fuck up one
local
line?
Pods.
Local
Gmail.
hive minds.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. peoplepods@gmail.com.
Human pods at Gmail.
Yeah, reptile people.
I'm gonna squint. How do I squint my
in
eyes
Denver
sideways? And then I can be like, I knew it. He's queuing on. I don't even know if that's how you use it. I use the QAnon the same way that they use Antifa.
Antifa. That's
You want them
Antifa.
Antifas?
Mm-hmm. You ate spaghetti with no sauce? That's Antifa.
You goddamn Antifa. Oh, you have a bidet, huh? You too good to wipe your own ass? Goddamn Antifa. So, yeah.
So, Tales of the Cocktail wrapped up last week.
Oh, yeah. What's that all about?
So Tales of the Cocktail is a spirits. I guess it would be like a spirits. What is that called? Like a con? Not a con. Like
Spirits
a convention.
Con.
Spirit Con. San Diego Spirit Con.
Not to be confused with the spirit of Halloween, which is also a con.
So yeah, so Tales of the Cocktail is going to be a
Fuck,
spirits.
I forgot that's where we came from. Holy
We just
shit.
subscribe to our Patreon. We're weaving. We're bobbing and weaving.
Motherfuckers and
Yeah,
microphone. And
Jesus Christ.
by tomorrow, we might finish the subject
we've
at
been
hand.
yeah we've been here for 6 hours.
My wife, they miss me.
Yeah. What am I?
Daddy,
Yeah.
please get off the podcast.
Yeah. What does Daddy look like? He's one of these Latinos over
You're
here.
gonna come out like Robin Williams in Jumanji. What year is it?
Yeah.
Your son's all grown up.
Yeah.
He's like, I used to have a dad,
Mhm.
not anymore.
What are you now? I'm a pantry chef. No.
He's like, I work at a distillery tasting.
Yeah,
room."
I give hostesses French fries for
Oh,
benefit
damn.
for fringe benefits.
For fringe benefit. That is the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
That's the word of advice to you young cooks.
Every single time a line cook gets with a hostess,
Yeah.
a young
Yeah.
18-year-old
An
hostess
angel
with French
gets its
fries, an angel
wings.
gets his wings. Anyway,
Hell yeah. So
like
Tales
clockwork.
of the Cock.
yeah. So Tales of the Cocktail.
Tales of the Cock. No, it's good.
Yeah, Tales of the,
Tales of
yeah,
the
Tales of the
Cock-
Cocktail
So, yeah,
takes
what-
place in New Orleans every single year in the summer.
Okay.
Which is the best time to be in New Orleans.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ridiculous. And what it
Everyone's
is, it's
just
like a
sweating their
celebration of
balls,
spirits. Yeah, it's-
dehydrating themselves.
yeah. And they have the New Orleans spirit competition. Distilleries from all over the world come out, and they will host seminars, or they'll do talks, or they'll have pourings, or they'll have these events at these different bars. And you can go, and if you're a big fan of a distillery, they're more likely going to be there. And you go through and you can taste some of their stuff, or taste cocktails that have their spirit focused, or is focused around their spirit. So it's a really good place to actually go. And if you're a really big fan of spirits in general, or alcohol in general, if you're in the industry, and I've actually never been to one, I have yet to go to one. I want to go next year.
Okay.
But if you're in the industry and have yet to go to one, I was talking to a guy who goes like every year. He's down in Florida, and he says he highly recommends it because it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
But
Florida,
they do
Florida to summer New Orleans is probably nothing.
Probably it's probably like
It's like I go up there to cool off.
late October to them.
Gotta take a break from fighting gators.
Yeah, but yeah, so they usually give out these awards. The New Orleans Spirit Competition is usually what they end up holding, and then they'll end up giving out best of in each category.
Okay.
But the distillery of the year was actually Kanosuke
Ah.
out of Japan. They are a single malt, or not a single malt, but probably a single malt, technically, because it is Japanese whiskey. Whiskey distiller. They were established in 2017. I think they released a gin in 2018, and their parent company is Komasa Gyozo, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And those guys have been making shochu for over 140 years.
Damn.
I want to say 1883 was when they were founded. And the only reason I remember that is because the New York Gothams, who ended up turning into the New York Giants, who ended up turning into the San Francisco Giants, were also founded in 1883. They're like the 6th oldest
Damn,
MLB
baseball's
franchise.
that old, huh? Shit.
Baseball's very old. I think the Braves are the oldest franchise.
The old ball
Check
and
me on
stick.
that though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The Braves.
The Braves, but they're not originally from Atlanta. Anyway, I digress.
Hey, welcome to the sports
We're
podcast.
all
Yeah.
over the place.
What
But
about
yeah,
Tales?
I've seen some of their stuff here and there, but I've actually never tried it. So maybe we should try to locate
bottle?
some, and then we could
we
crack
know,
it
we know
open
whose
and do
basement to
it.
go check out.
We'll be Spencer. We're coming for you. Spencer, for you. So I clarified that with him finally this week.
Oh, did he? Does he?
I was
down?
like, so you like live in oh yeah, he's down. And I'm like, so you live in the basement, or where do you live at? And he goes,
goes,
no,
"No,
he
share a
goes,
wall."
my dad's a doctor. He goes, it's a large house and they're never home. So I have half the house to myself. And I go,
Damn,
you don't bring
he's got the
women
West
home?"
Wing, bro.
He's got the West Wing of the house.
He's over
Central
here
and West
fucking
Wing.
strolling in his underwear to ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
Yeah, it's risky business.
He's risky business in
Except
it.
it's not underwear. It's just a tight jeans.
He's like, if you can't see them all, they ain't right.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be able to see the outline.
He
of that
leaves
bad boy.
nothing to the imagination.
Ding, 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 ding.
I love that guy so much. Though.
Fuck
He's
yeah.
so fun to talk to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
sure.
He's so but he'll be doing something hopefully in the next couple weeks. But anyway,
So,
But
Tails,
yeah.
So they gave so they won best distillery, huh?
they won best distillery this year.
Does it say for which spirits, or is it just like for spirits in
I
general?
think it's just the best. They always award one best distillery,
Okay.
and I think it's just them.
Okay.
So we got to hit him up and see if he's had any other single malt.
Fine.
But they only do like one limited releases of like one release at a time.
Damn.
So it's probably super fucking
It's gonna have a
expensive.
nice price tag
So-
to that.
They're probably like little. So we went last week before the episode. We recorded episode 2 and hit a couple of mom and pops. And I like going to mom and pop liquor stores.
Yeah.
Definitely try to do that if you can. It is difficult to buy alcohol, spirits at those places because it is with places like Bevmo and Total Wine. Those guys have everything and they buy bulk, especially even Costco now too.
Costco,
and
yeah,
it's just way less expensive than these mom and pops. But you go in there, buy your beer from there. Buy smaller
local.
things. Like we picked up a couple of small bottles of shoju.
Oh yeah.
Did
you drink those?
Any
How were
type of
they?
mixers? No, they're still over there. We could crack them open today if you want to talk about them.
I'll swish it around, but
Oh, you're not drinking still?
bro, my body isn't having a bad reaction to that binge.
Have you drank anything since then?
No, I honestly it's the smell of the alcohol now that makes me kind of like. I'm sure I'll get over it. I just gotta start drinking again, but I'm fine not doing that right now. Because after that, I was like, it's been a week. It's like it's not even just the being drunk; it's the longevity of the hangover now. And now it's just like day 4 to 5. I was like, I still feel cloudied, and I'm just like, it's because I haven't been to the gym because I was so tired and my body was poisoned by my own doing.
Yeah, by your own hand.
Yeah, poisoned by my own hand. And so the urge to and the will to has been lost to live. To drink.
Both. Drinking is living. Living is drinking.
Ball is life. But drinking is living. But yeah, so I have yet to drink anything really.
Nice.
And I don't really find a desire to right now. I don't really.
Yeah, I think last week, outside of the stuff we made for the how-tos or the shorts, outside of the stuff I drank at the Rake, I haven't really drank anything either.
Nice.
We picked up some Victorias, so
I
I'd like to
fucking
drink
love
some of
Victoria,
that. I love
dude.
Victoria too.
Victoria's fantastic.
We couldn't find any in our part of the East Bay, our section of the East Bay. We used to live just around West Berkeley area.
Ask that fool with the hairnet.
That
Sure
dude,
he'll
yeah,
tell you.
here. Well, here they have it everywhere. They have it at Lucky. They have it at Lucky, dude. They have it in
What?
grocery stores. I'm like, damn, dude, you guys have
Fire.
this here?
Do you have
And it's
Jalisco?
always like $14.
$14, bro.
That's right, Jalisco? No, I didn't see it over there.
I like
But
it
I didn't
there.
really look that hard.
They're pretty fire.
Yeah. If I'm gonna go for like a clear, they're probably the best clear bottle, Mexican brand, and then Victoria has the brown bottle, and then Corona Familiar. Corona Familiar is delicious
I used to get those
too.
32 ounces.
We have to talk about Mexican beers soon.
Just Mexican
just
beers.
Mexican beers. That'll be all stuff that we'll do for the Patreon. I mean, we might drop little shorts here and there.
Yeah, for sure.
On YouTube, feed you thirsty sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna bring you in, reel you in.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about food and alcohol magazines, but I think we'll save that for next week, just
That's
because
fair.
this one's gone a little bit long.
Yeah, we had some good digressions there.
Yeah, plus it'll give us a little bit of time because there's so many food and alcohol magazines out there.
And we gotta look at some. I barely look at them. I
Yeah.
used to read Food and Wine.
Mhm.
Now I just don't fucking care about anything. So
Yeah, like Bon Appetit.
oh,
There's
Bon Appetit is fantastic.
There's Food and Wine. There's Whiskey Advocate. There's Wine Spectator. There's Wine Enthusiast. There's Distiller Magazine. There's Whiskey Magazine. There's so many,
that's a lot.
and it kind of feels like an overkill.
Yeah, that's
and,
very saturated.
Yeah, I remember when I got a quick side story. God damn it! But I had just got done bartending at a spot, and I was having trouble finding another spot to bartend at because Fresno really not just this is an excuse for me not being able to find a bartending job, but they really focus on looks in general in that city.
And they didn't hire you on the spot, brother?
Yeah, of course not. Dude, this is for the front of the house, not back of house, bro. The dish pit? Yeah, you're in.
See the front and the back of the house.
Yeah, that's the only way. Yeah, the only way. They enter through the back. But I was having trouble finding a job, so I picked up a day job at Barnes & Noble.
Dude, that's
and,
sick.
I was working there.
I always wanted to work at a fucking bookstore.
Dude, and it's pretty fun. I like working. I read a lot,
They get
and I
health
like
insurance,
reading
don't
books. Yeah, not when I was working there.
Of course.
But you know, I'm an old man. And but dude, I was just
I knew Bonds and Noble.
Surprised. Yeah, I actually was there when the Gotham Knights.
It was Bonds, Noble, and Aguilera initially.
Yeah, it was originally, and they cut me out because they're like, no spics allowed.
Boy, we like you, but you're too brown.
Too brown. Am I looking pale? Like, what?
You're darker than me, Mr. Noble. Shut your damn mouth.
Yeah, you dirty Mexican. But I was surprised at the sheer amount of magazines that were just there.
Dude,
there was like 20 magazines just on knitting, and I'm like, how many magazines do you really need on
Weekly?
Yeah, Knitter's Digest, Knitter's Monthly, Knitter's Annual,
Armed
Knitters in Review. I was just like, damn, dude, like how many magazines? And they carried them all.
Damn.
And I was like, I don't think you need to carry this many magazines.
That's a ton, yeah.
And there doesn't need to be that many magazines. Like Condé Nast needs to fucking pull it back a little bit.
Who
it's
does?
just Condé Nast. They own a bunch of magazines.
Oh, I was like, this
so
is
anyway,
the Knitter kind
yeah,
of like corner.
Knitting Weekly.
The knitting niche. They're like, you're gonna take on magazines.
Dude, there's like 3 Lego magazines. There's like 3 Lego magazines. There's like 2 or 3 magazines just on like
how much you think production is for one of those?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
I would love to make a magazine.
It's probably like one of those things. It's probably if you make one, it's hella expensive. It's probably the way they make so many. It's just so that it cuts the cost down so much.
I want to make a magazine that's just full of delinquents and hooligans and dumb shit.
You just make a zine.
I want to make a zine.
Yeah, just make a zine.
I guess I could just do that.
We should do a zine for this place too. For this podcast also. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway.
I'm in. I'm down for a zine.
All right. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Like I said, my name is Saul.
I'm Daniel.
And
24.
it's already 4 o'clock.
Holy shit.
This is the I was about to say a different podcast I used to be on. This is the Local Drunks podcast.
At least I just confused the words.
Yeah, I know. I'm back in.
Thanks, James.
I'm back in 2017.
But I'm Daniel.
No, I know. It's another Latino I used to do. Juan. Damn, we just keep a brown up in this piece.
You've seen one, you've seen them all. Huh?
You know, it's all the same. They're all pink in the middle. Mid-rare. Anyway, so this is the Local Drunks Pod. You can find us on Instagram at
the local.
I want to keep throwing it to you just so you can fuck it up.
The Local Drunks Pod.
At Local Drunks Pod.
At Local Drunks Pod.
YouTube at Local Drunks Pod. And also, if you want to throw us a couple of some loose change or whatever to keep this thing going.
Not to be confused with the 9/11 documentary.
Loose change? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez Louise. I never heard of that. So it must be legitimate.
It must be legit.
Then
we would appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah, we would very much appreciate it. Patreon.com/
the Local Drunks Pod.
Yep, Local Drunks Pod. Know that, but that's fine. The that's going to be just a running joke for us.
I need to write this shit down.
We'll put it on the wall.
Yeah,
Local
that'd
Drunks
great.
Pod.
I'll
You
be
can
like,
be
like I'm looking at the camera.
The
Local
Drunks Pod.
The Local Pod.
Drunks.
Local Drunks Pod. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, you guys.
This fucking delirious episode.
Yeah, we were kind of all over the place.
It was good though. Some good
it was pretty fun. Yeah,
some good laughs.
Some good laughs. Yeah, and then of course we're going to be publishing unedited video and audio on the Patreons as well.
Yeah.
And then also be doing some special stuff for the YouTube and everything. So that should be by the time this podcast launches, there should be some cocktail content on the YouTube.
Sick.
And then also maybe some snippets from the video pod, just depending on how lazy I'm feeling.
Let's snip it, bro.
But anyway, thank you all very much.
Cheers.
And we'll catch you next week.
Oh, we should have a sign out. What should our sign out be?
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
What are we, a fucking news anchor? Thank you very much. I'm Daniel Cooksey. Thank you very much.
it
And see you
locked.
next week. Fuck it. We'll do it
If you
live.
catch us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell.